One of the most important things about creating a film, making a movie, TV show, anything that involves audio and video put together is Foley work and sound design. These two art forms are just crucial to putting that final touch on your production. Welcome back to the Rebel Tech channel. I'm Justin, and in this video we're going to be talking about Foley work, sound design, how they're similar, how they're different, and really getting into how they really make a movie, TV show, anything that much better and really push your level of production value up. Before we get started, if you have any questions, comments, or anything whatsoever, please leave it down in the comments section down below. I'll be happy to answer any questions you guys have about Foley work, sound design, anything that I cover in this video, or any gear that I might cover in this video. I love having conversations with you guys, and it's really fun to talk shop with this stuff. You could also ask me more directly while I stream every Saturday afternoon into the night on this channel for about an hour. I do some dot art right now with my Marvel and Spider-Man books. I have a lot of fun with that, very therapeutic to me. And I switch over to my Twitch channel later on in the stream, and I stream video games over there. I've been streaming the Assassin's Creed games, Assassin's Creed Unity right now. Syndicate's going to be next. Not sure what's going to happen afterwards, but that's some of the stuff that I'm doing over there, and if you are interested in that, please give me a follow over there. I'd be really appreciative if you just give me a follow over there. I'm really trying to get that affiliate status, and it's a long time coming, so a little bit of love on that end would be nice. And if you found this video helpful, entertaining, or anything whatsoever, please leave a like and consider subscribing. Okay, so first up, what is Foley work? It's a very silly name. When I first heard of it about 2-3 years ago when I was making an indie film, I didn't know what the heck my friend was talking about. He's like, oh, could you do Foley work? Could you create Foley work? And I'm like, what are you talking about? At the time, I mean, I worked in studios. I've worked a little bit as a boom operator. As far as Foley work, I had no idea what he was talking about. Sound design I did hear about, but that's a little bit different. Foley work is more of a recreation of acting almost, in a way. Basically, it's recreating sounds that weren't recorded properly or weren't recorded to its fullest potential in the filming of the movie, TV show, or whatever. Take, for example, like walking on gravel, walking on sand, a door slamming, something going on a table like a cup or a mug, or something falling over like a vase and crashing and just shattering, and they have to emulate all those sounds as accurate as possible. Of course, they're watching the movie or the TV show along with this, but it's very hard to trick the viewer into thinking that was the same sound as what I just did in a studio. Now, as far as sound design is concerned, there are times where they mesh together and they blend together, Foley work and sound design. It's very similar, and there's some gray areas, but it's the same concept, adding in sounds that weren't there while recording, or adding in sounds that you might want to add in the background, or just about anything. They're very, very similar, and chances are, if you say Foley work or if you say sound design, one or the other, you're meaning pretty much the same thing. Now, the cool part about how these things are recorded, they basically have their own theater, meaning that there's a projector or some type of big screen where they play the movie along with the things that they do to create the sounds. So if you've seen, there's a bunch of videos, I'll link them down below, on Foley work studios. So they have like different types of terrain, different props, and infinite amounts of things that can create sounds that emulate the sounds that are needed in a film. And the examples that I had before, I've watched tons of videos on this, and it's fascinating to me, especially if you're into audio and into film and into all this stuff. It's really cool, and a new like branch off that tree of content creation and filmmaking. To dive a little bit deeper, how are these things recorded? Well, we know the structure and the environment that they're in. But the key is obviously mic placement and mic gain and making sure you accurately record it, just like you would in a scene. You need to accurately depict lighting or whatever. But the idea is to get it as close as possible, and chances are you got to use the same type of microphone so that it's fluent throughout the process. A key thing, if you're doing Foley work, if you're doing ADR, which is post dialogue for a scene, if a dialogue was messed up or it's not as good as you want it to be, you do ADR. And chances are you're going to use the same microphone that you used on set, so that everything sounds the same. If you're using a Sennheiser MKH416, I'm not using it right now, I'm using an Oktava right now. But, for example, if you were to record in the field while you're filming with a Sennheiser, and then in the booth you use an Oktava, you got to do a little extra work trying to emulate that sound. So if you use the same microphone, you should be fine. I say you should be fine because there's more to it. Sound engineers make a ton of money because they do a ton of work trying to figure out, how does this place sound and how do I recreate it in a DAW? Very crucial part to making a movie, and sound design and sound engineers are some of the most talented people in the film industry and don't get enough credit. Of course, I am a bit biased because I have an audio background, but I've grown into more than just an audio person, so still that bit of a bias, I gotta admit. Now, before we move on, the idea for Foley work is to use it as a failsafe, meaning don't rely on it. Don't be lazy. Just because you have access to these things doesn't mean you got to be lazy in your recording. If you're able to record the footsteps or the slamming of a door or doing everything at in the moment, try to get it as best as possible. 1, it saves time. 2, it saves money, and money is time, and time is money in this industry. It's one of those things that authenticity is the first thing that people notice. And if something's a little bit off, people are going to notice it, and it's going to take them away from the story, take them away from the environment that they're in and the mindset that they're in watching the content that they are. So make sure that you're as authentic as you can and don't rely on these peripheral things. Foley work and sound design, as I said, are one of the most important things in your production, but don't rely on them. Don't think, oh, I'll just catch that later. If you're capable of making sure it's good now, do it. Because later on, it's more work, more money, as I said. So for these examples, I'm going to have, of course, I'm not in a professional setting. I'm going to be making these on my own and showing you that you can make these on your own if you are into film and working on a film or movie, TV, web series, whatever it is. It's one of those things that you need to understand the fundamentals to move forward. And I try to push it to you guys to understand that if you get these fundamentals down, you can get pretty close to these professional settings, especially with audio, because audio is a little less complex than film. Not by much. There is a lot of technical stuff in audio, but just by the nature of it, audio is more simple as far as recording it and all that stuff. And that's a fine line. It's a very fine line. Very floss-like line. So, Zoom F6, we're going to be doing 24-bit and 32-bit dual files. Chances are I'm probably just going to use the 32-bit float. I do dual because I'm paranoid and I don't want to lose footage, or just maybe I'm just crazy. And 96 on the sample rate. I do 96 because you could always bring it back down, kind of like if you were to upload it to a website and you have it at 4K, but chances are a lot of people are going to be doing it at 1080. You want your ceiling a little higher so they can bring it back down with the compression. Of course, this will not apply to people that are putting this out on DVDs, Blu-rays, or whatever, but chances are in this world we have now streaming and everything going over the internet, the compression on the internet is brutal at times. So record everything at its highest potential, 4K, 96, whatever it is. Just make sure that you have it at its highest so that when it's brought back down, you're not sacrificing the quality that much. The next thing on the hardware we're using is Sennheiser MKH416. Right now I'm recording into an Oktava MK012 pencil condenser microphone. We're going to be doing examples with both of these microphones to give you just some variety, but the key is finding the right gear to do a job. So for example, if it's something that you want to avoid outside noise and you're outside and you're getting sand or whatever, you're probably going to use that Sennheiser and get very accurate with it. If you're indoors and you don't want any reflection off the walls, but you want to get accuracy, you use the Oktava with the hypercardioid polar pattern on it. Just a little tip there. Know the gear, know the thing that it's going to be used for, and just use the right gear for the right situation. You're not going to be using a hammer for a screw, essentially. That's what I'm getting at. So without boring you guys, let's go outside, let's go around the house, around everywhere, and try to find some things that would be common to your production of things you might encounter, of noises, sounds, things that occur very often in film. And that is my first video and first dive into Foley work. It really is a cool and fun way of making sounds and really recreating a piece of art with a new piece of art. And the whole idea of Foley work and sound design is very fascinating to me. I'm looking forward to making more sounds and making more noises. And I will be setting up the booth. I think the next video I'm going to be doing with the Foley work involved is going to be in the booth and have a more controlled environment. And if you found this video helpful, entertaining, or anything whatsoever, please leave a like and consider subscribing for more videos like this. More videos coming out in the future that are involved with the Zoom F6. A bunch more coming out. I'm really pushing for that being the channel that has the most Zoom F6 videos. I could very well be the one who does have the most, but not sure yet. I have a feeling that I am, but I don't know yet. If anyone wants to go figure that out, please let me know. And as always, be safe, be kind. If you go out, please wear a mask, and I will see you in the next video. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Why am I naked? I'm in the nude. Oh, I'm so nude.